Have you ever wondered what kind of life you'll have when you're older? As we age, every decision and habit we keep builds the foundation of our later years. Some people find happiness and peace, while others find themselves trapped in loneliness, regret, or despair. In this video, we're diving into the 7 unmistakable signs that could lead to a miserable life in old age. Watch closely and make sure to stick around, because these insights might just change your future. And if this message resonates with you, please hit the like button and subscribe for more life-changing perspectives. Let's dive in. 1. Stubbornly holding on to regret. Think back to a time you made a decision that didn't go as planned. Maybe you took a risk and it didn't work out. Or perhaps you let a great opportunity slip by. In that moment, regret might have filled you, but eventually you brushed it aside and moved forward. But imagine if you didn't. If instead of moving on, you allowed that regret to live in the back of your mind, quietly reminding you of what went wrong. Over the years, it builds up, slowly transforming into a weight you can never fully escape. Now, consider this. Many people in their older years live with a silent burden, an entire archive of what-ifs, and I should have done things differently. Maybe it's the career they chose, the relationship they let go of, or the risks they didn't take. Whatever the reason, they carry a sense of loss for the life they might have lived. Regret becomes like a poison, sinking into every thought and sapping joy from each day. The worst part is this weight of regret is often self-inflicted, locked inside, and never spoken out loud. People around them may never know how heavy it is, but inside, it gnaws away at their peace and happiness. Regret can seem like a minor feeling in the moment, a pang of disappointment, or a passing thought about what might have been. But left unchecked, regret becomes a haunting presence in old age, one that can make people feel trapped in memories of the past, rather than living in the present. They replay their mistakes, questioning their own judgment, feeling like they missed their shot, like they didn't do enough. And the sad truth is, this suffering isn't caused by circumstances. It's caused by holding on too tightly to the past. But here's the crucial thing. You don't have to wait until your later years to let go of this weight. Right now, today, you can begin to work through those regrets. Forgiveness, both of yourself and others, is a powerful tool. Reframing your past as lessons learned rather than missed opportunities can help set you free. Ask yourself, what would it take to release these regrets now? What steps can you take to make peace with your past and move forward with a lighter heart? Because if you can find that peace now, if you can let go of that old hurt and resentment, you'll be setting yourself up for a much happier life in your later years. Imagine reaching old age and feeling a deep sense of fulfillment and acceptance. That freedom, that inner peace, it's a gift you give yourself by facing your regrets head on and finally letting them go. 2. Prioritizing money over relationships. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to fall into the mindset that money equals success and happiness. Everywhere we look, we see the rewards of financial gain. Bigger homes, luxury vacations, the latest gadgets. We're often told that wealth brings security, and that security leads to a better life. But here's a truth many don't realize until it's too late. While money can buy comfort, it can never buy connection, love, or true companionship. In fact, the constant chase for more can sometimes cost us the very things that make life worth living. Think about this. How often do you put off a call with a friend, skip a family gathering, or pass on an evening out because of work? It seems minor at the moment, just one missed dinner or one delayed call. But over time, these choices accumulate, and slowly, the relationships that once filled your life with joy and laughter begin to slip away. Friends drift apart, family bonds weaken, and the people who once felt close suddenly seem distant. As the years go by, you may come to realize that while you were busy building a fortune, You missed out on building memories with those you love. Imagine reaching old age surrounded by all the symbols of wealth: a large house, a well-padded retirement fund, all the comforts you once dreamed of. But the rooms are empty, the phone barely rings, and the friends you once counted on are long gone. You find yourself looking back, not at the money you made, but at the moments you missed, the birthdays, the milestones, the shared meals, and late-night conversations. These are the things that linger in our hearts, the things we truly remember. In those quiet moments, surrounded by the silence of an empty home, loneliness becomes more painful than any financial struggle could ever be. It's often in old age that we see this contrast most clearly. Wealth can't fill the void left by a lack of meaningful relationships. Studies have shown that people who prioritize relationships tend to be happier and healthier in their later years, while those who focused solely on wealth often face isolation and depression. Loneliness in old age stings far deeper than any poverty could because wealth is powerless to replace the warmth of genuine connection. So, ask yourself, is it really worth it to sacrifice the people who care about you for the pursuit of more money? Now is the time to invest in the relationships that matter, to show up for the people who've been there for you, and to cherish the moments you have together. Instead of viewing relationships as secondary to financial success, try to see them as the foundation of a fulfilling life. Money will come and go, but the memories you make and the bonds you build are the true treasures that last a lifetime. Because in the end, when all the achievements and accolades fade, it's not the size of your bank account that will bring you comfort. It's the laughter of friends, the love of family, and the knowledge that you've lived a life filled with meaningful connections. That's the true wealth that carries us through old age with a sense of joy, purpose, and peace. So choose today to value those relationships, to let those around you know they matter, and to ensure that when you look back, it's with gratitude, not regret. 3. Neglecting health. Health is one of those things we rarely think about when we have it. When you're young, feeling strong and full of energy, it's easy to believe that this vitality will last forever. But the truth is, our bodies remember every choice we make. Years of poor diet, lack of exercise, and avoiding routine checkups add up, and the consequences often don't show until it's too late to reverse them. The aches, pains, and health struggles we see in old age are often the echoes of years of neglect. Imagine reaching your later years and finding that the simplest tasks, walking up a flight of stairs, lifting a bag of groceries, or even just getting out of bed, are battles against pain and fatigue. Instead of enjoying the freedom that comes with retirement, you're burdened by trips to the doctor, prescriptions, and a long list of things you can't do. You might have plans to travel, to spend time with family, or even to take up hobbies, but your body has other plans. Poor health becomes a prison, trapping you in limitations and discomfort that overshadow the joys of life. It's a reality that many face, often with deep regret, realizing that they could have prevented much of this suffering. When we're young, it's easy to skip the workout, choose fast food, or ignore symptoms that seem minor. We tell ourselves we'll take better care of our bodies someday, but someday rarely comes. What we don't realize is that every choice we make today builds the foundation for our future health. Skipping that workout now might seem insignificant, but when it becomes a habit, it slowly eats away at the strength and resilience our bodies need to age well. Think of your body like a lifelong companion. The care and attention you give it today determine how well it will carry you through the years ahead. Prioritizing health doesn't mean drastic changes overnight. It means building habits that will serve you for life. A balanced diet, regular exercise, routine checkups, and stress management are all investments in your future well-being. Each healthy choice, no matter how small, strengthens your foundation for a fulfilling and active old age. The saddest part of poor health in old age isn't just the physical pain, it's the missed opportunities. It's watching others live out their dreams while you're sidelined by ailments that could have been prevented. The regret of neglecting health isn't just about the discomfort. It's about the life experiences you lose, the people you might miss spending time with, the adventures you might forgo, the freedom you give up. So, while it's easy to brush off health concerns now, remember that every step you take today is a step toward either a joyful or a limited future. Choose to take care of your body as a form of self-respect, as a gift to your future self. Imagine reaching old age with the energy to enjoy every day, free from the chains of preventable illnesses. Let your health be a priority, because in the end, a strong, resilient body is the greatest gift you can give yourself in life. Take care now, and your future self will thank you, living in gratitude rather than regret. 4. Living in constant competition. In a world that often celebrates winners and rewards achievements, it's easy to fall into the habit of comparing ourselves to others. We scroll through social media, see our peers' accomplishments, and can't help but feel the urge to compete, to have more, achieve more, and prove our worth by outpacing those around us. But what we often forget is that the race for more has no finish line, and the cost of constantly measuring ourselves against others is often our own happiness. Imagine spending decades focused on outperforming others. Perhaps you achieve incredible things, a promotion, a bigger house, or even recognition in your field. But each achievement only brings a fleeting sense of satisfaction before the next challenge, the next comparison, arises. Living in this constant state of competition makes it nearly impossible to feel truly content. You're always reaching, but never arriving. It's exhausting, yet you keep going, believing that one more victory or a bit more success will finally bring you peace. But now, picture reaching your later years and looking back on a lifetime filled with accomplishments, yet feeling an emptiness inside. You might have outdone your colleagues, achieved more than your friends, and accumulated the material rewards of success. But instead of feeling fulfilled, you're left wondering, was it all worth it? You realize that in chasing these comparisons, you missed out on the simple joys of life. The laughter, the moments with loved ones. The peace of simply being without needing to prove anything to anyone. This obsession with competition and comparison robs us of presence, of contentment. The more we focus on others' achievements, the less we're able to appreciate our own journey. The joy that could come from each step is overshadowed by the pressure to stay ahead, to do more, to always measure up. Over time, this mindset becomes a heavy burden, as each achievement feels less like a reward and more like a temporary relief from the relentless race. In old age, the energy for competition fades, but the habits of dissatisfaction and comparison linger, leaving us feeling as if we've never truly lived. The saddest part is that this competitive mindset isn't something life demands of us. It's something we choose. We're conditioned to believe that our value lies in what we achieve compared to others. Yet true happiness and fulfillment are deeply personal and cannot be measured by anyone else's yardstick. In the end, life isn't a race. There is no grand scoreboard, no ultimate prize for having more or doing more than those around you. The real fulfillment comes from living authentically, appreciating what you have, and celebrating your own unique path. Instead of striving to win at life, try focusing on what brings you joy, on relationships, and on growth that feels meaningful to you. When you remove the pressure of competition, you free yourself to actually enjoy life. You find joy in the present, gratitude for what you have, and peace in knowing that your worth isn't defined by what anyone else has or does. So, let go of the need to compete, to constantly compare. Because when you reach the end of your journey, it won't be the victories over others that you remember. It will be the moments of peace, of genuine happiness, and of love. Give yourself the gift of contentment now so that you can look back on your life with a sense of fulfillment, rather than regret. Life is meant to be lived, not measured. Let go of the race and embrace the joy of simply being. 5. Refusing to adapt and change. Change is one of life's only constants, yet so many of us find ourselves resisting it at every turn. Maybe it's human nature to cling to what feels familiar and safe, but in doing so, we miss out on growth, on connection, and ultimately, on a fulfilling life. The truth is, adapting and evolving isn't just a skill for the young. It's a lifelong necessity. When we choose to remain rigid in our ways, we're not preserving stability. We're building walls that isolate us from the world and keep us from thriving. Imagine going through life with a mindset that refuses to adapt. New technologies emerge, social norms shift, and ideas evolve. But if you're unwilling to adjust, you'll find yourself increasingly at odds with the world around you. Think about how technology, for instance, has transformed the way we communicate, learn, and even find joy. For someone who insists on rejecting these changes, the world becomes a foreign place, a source of frustration rather than excitement. Every new advancement, instead of being an opportunity, becomes a reminder of how outdated they feel. Fast forward to old age, and this resistance can make life feel incredibly lonely. Friends and family adapt to new ways of connecting, using social media, video calls, or apps to stay in touch. If you've avoided these changes, you might find yourself cut off from these connections, missing out on conversations, photos, and memories shared online. The world around you moves forward, but you feel stuck, left behind, and increasingly isolated. It's not that people don't care. It's that you've built barriers that keep you from engaging in the ways they do. Beyond social connections, a refusal to adapt affects personal growth and resilience. Life constantly presents us with challenges, both big and small. Each one requires some level of flexibility, whether it's adjusting to a new environment, handling an unexpected setback, or rethinking outdated beliefs. Those who can adapt are able to navigate these challenges with a sense of purpose, often finding new passions and perspectives along the way. But those who remain rigid miss out on this growth, and over time, the world seems more overwhelming and hostile as they lack the tools to cope. A rigid mindset creates a life of stagnation, a place where comfort is mistaken for contentment, but over time becomes a source of misery. When we refuse to adapt, we're essentially refusing to live fully. Life is an ever-evolving journey, and the joy of it comes from embracing the unknown, from discovering new things about ourselves and the world. Adaptability doesn't mean abandoning your values or identity. It means allowing yourself to grow in ways that keep you connected, curious, and open. Ask yourself, what would it look like to embrace change rather than resist it? It could be as simple as learning to use new technology, keeping an open mind to differing viewpoints, or being willing to adjust plans when life throws a curveball. These small acts of flexibility keep your mind sharp, your relationships strong, and your spirit resilient. They allow you to find joy in things you might have once dismissed and to connect with people from all walks of life. In the end, adaptability isn't about survival. It's about thriving. It's about giving yourself the freedom to evolve, to stay connected, and to find purpose in every stage of life. If you embrace change now, you'll enter old age not as someone who's been left behind, but as someone who's truly lived, who's found joy in each chapter, and who continues to find meaning in every moment. So choose adaptability, not as a compromise, but as an invitation to a richer, fuller life. Because when you reach the later years, it's the open mind and the willingness to learn that will bring you peace, connection, and a sense of satisfaction, knowing that you lived fully and without regrets. 6. Clinging to past grudges. Holding on to a grudge can feel strangely comforting. When someone wrongs us, it's natural to feel hurt, angry, or even betrayed. But there's a fine line between processing those feelings and letting them harden into something much heavier, a grudge that we carry with us day after day, year after year. And as the years pass, that anger or resentment only grows heavier, becoming a weight that drains us, poisons our peace, and isolates us from the love and joy that life has to offer. Imagine reaching your later years and realizing that many of the people who once hurt you are no longer a part of your life. Perhaps they moved on, perhaps they're no longer alive, or perhaps they're simply unaffected by the bitterness you carry. Yet the grudge remains, eating away at you, tainting your happiness and coloring your memories with negativity. This burden doesn't just affect how you remember the past. It impacts how you live in the present. Instead of feeling peace, you feel bitterness. Instead of finding joy in relationships, you keep others at arm's length, fearful of getting hurt again. Instead of cherishing the present, you're haunted by wounds from the past. The sad reality is that grudges rarely harm the person they're directed toward. Often, the only person who suffers from holding onto a grudge is you. It's like drinking poison and expecting the other person to feel the effects. Meanwhile, that resentment silently eats away at your well-being, draining your energy and hardening your heart. With every passing year, it becomes more difficult to let go, and the grudge begins to feel like a permanent part of who you are, making it even harder to forgive and move forward. When you cling to past grudges, you also close yourself off from meaningful relationships. People can sense bitterness, even if you don't openly express it. They may feel that you're guarded, distrustful, or unwilling to open up. Over time, this creates a barrier that keeps others from getting close to you. By holding on to anger from the past, you unintentionally create a future of loneliness, pushing away people who might have brought you comfort, support, or even joy. This isolation becomes particularly painful in old age, when companionship and connection are more important than ever. Choosing to forgive, however, isn't about letting the other person off the hook or pretending that the hurt didn't happen. It's about freeing yourself from the chains of resentment and reclaiming your own peace. Forgiveness is a choice to no longer let past pain control your present happiness. It's a way to say, I choose my peace over this grudge. I choose to live free of the anger that has held me back. This act of letting go is profoundly liberating. It lightens your spirit and allows you to open your heart to new, positive experiences. If you find it difficult to forgive, start by recognizing that forgiveness is a journey. It may not happen overnight, and that's okay. Begin by acknowledging the hurt. Then ask yourself if holding on to that hurt is worth the weight it places on your life. Reflect on the relationships, peace of mind, and joy that you're sacrificing to keep this anger alive. Consider what life could be like if you freed yourself from this burden, how much lighter, brighter, and more open your world might become. Imagine reaching old age with a heart that is light, free from resentment. You're able to recall your past without bitterness, remembering the good and learning from the challenges. You're open to relationships, welcoming connection without the shadow of past hurts interfering. Your life, even in its later years, is filled with peace and warmth rather than loneliness and bitterness. So let go of the grudges that no longer serve you. Choose forgiveness not for others, but for yourself. Give yourself the gift of peace and the freedom to enjoy the life that you have. Old age is meant to be a time of reflection, wisdom, and connection, not a prison of past conflicts. Embrace forgiveness and allow yourself to live fully, freely, and joyfully, because you deserve a life unburdened by the weight of old grudges. 7. Ignoring passions and purpose. There's a unique kind of joy that comes from following what you truly love, from pursuing passions that fill your life with meaning. Yet, in the hustle of daily life, it's easy to overlook these passions, to set them aside for someday. But when we ignore what we're passionate about, when we ignore our sense of purpose, we're left feeling empty. As the years pass, that emptiness only grows, creating a sense of hollowness that becomes especially pronounced in old age. Imagine reaching a point in your life where the career you spent decades building has come to an end, where the responsibilities and demands you once prioritized are no longer there. Without a purpose or passion, the days begin to blend together, lacking color, excitement, and fulfillment. You may find yourself asking, what's left, or what was it all for? If you've never made time for the things that light you up inside, retirement or old age can feel incredibly lonely and even meaningless. It's then that people realize that life wasn't about the job title, the paycheck, or the routine. But by then, finding purpose becomes much harder. Passions give life its richness. Whether it's painting, gardening, writing, playing music, or something as simple as reading or learning, pursuing what you love gives each day purpose. These activities become anchors that ground us, providing joy, relaxation, and a deep sense of satisfaction. For many, passions are a form of self-expression, a way to pour pieces of their soul into something they care about. And when you're old, when the busy world starts to quiet down, it's these passions that will fill the silence and bring you peace. People who ignore their passions often look back with regret, realizing that they traded their love of life for obligations, responsibilities, and the pursuit of things that, in hindsight, were temporary. They may realize they never fully embraced their creativity, their curiosity, or their dreams. Without a sense of purpose, life begins to feel like it's missing something fundamental, a deeper layer that could have made every day feel more vibrant and meaningful. Think about it. Life is about more than just getting by. It's about feeling truly alive, about having something to wake up for beyond routine or obligation. Following your passions doesn't mean ignoring your responsibilities. It means allowing space for both. It means giving yourself permission to explore and enjoy the things that truly matter to you, things that will sustain you emotionally, spiritually, and mentally long after other aspects of life fade away. Pursuing your passions also keeps your mind and spirit young. It encourages curiosity, creativity, and a sense of wonder. Studies have shown that people who engage in activities they're passionate about have better mental health, greater resilience, and a more positive outlook on life. In old age, this can make the difference between feeling fulfilled and feeling empty. While others may struggle with loneliness or regret, those who embrace their passions have something beautiful to turn to, something that continues to bring joy and purpose. Ask yourself, what is it that makes you feel alive? What is that one thing that you would do, not for money or recognition, but simply because it fills your heart? Whatever it is, don't put it off for someday. Start now. Make time for it. Allow it to grow, to become a part of who you are. When you look back, you'll be grateful for the time you dedicated to something that truly mattered to you. As you age, these passions become a source of comfort, joy, and fulfillment, a reminder that life is rich and beautiful, that each day has something worth waking up for. Whether it's a small hobby or a lifelong dream, your passion is your gift to yourself, a source of happiness that no one can take away. So pursue it now, embrace it wholeheartedly, because when you're older, it's not the possessions or titles that will matter. It's the experiences, the love, and the passions you nurtured along the way. Don't wait until it's too late to find purpose. Build it today in the things you love, and you'll find that joy and fulfillment are always within reach, at every stage of life. So, now that you know the signs, it's up to you to make choices today that will shape a happier tomorrow. You don't have to follow a path that leads to a miserable old age. By letting go of regret, choosing relationships, prioritizing health, and embracing change, you can shape a future full of peace and joy. If this video gave you something to think about, be sure to like and subscribe for more insights that make a real difference. Remember, life is the result of the choices we make. So let's make them count.